get this second set started. You guys welcome Danny O'Flaherty back. That is your name, isn't it?
Well, thank you so much.
We love you.
The gentleman was asking me about the song that people sing all the time that represents Ireland. But some people you can't sometimes tell the stories about some of these songs because they lived with that for almost 100 years, and that's how they know Ireland with it, and you don't want to break their hearts. So that's why when you do songs like that or the story, you do it more like privately and tell them, because you don't want to. You want people who have been believing all their lives this is Irish, and all of a sudden come to find out it's not, and it's not right. So I try to avoid it, so if you don't mind, but I will when the camera is off, I'll sing it for you before the night is out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll sing it to all of you when Randy turns off when I do the last song tonight, whatever that is.
And Randy turns it off.
Then I'll do it.
Okay.
Oh, is that
That's the deal.
That's the deal?
That'll be
Deal.
easy for us.
Deal, Pickle.
All right. Okay. Well, I like to. This is a song that. There's many songs. My goodness. When I grew up on the Iron Islands, there was the steamer or the boat that would bring goods to the island, weather permitting, 30 miles away from Galway City. Back in the time, the name of the boat was Niwena, which is the patron saint of the island, Saint Enda. Before the Niwena, there was a boat called the Angus, Angus, which would have been the tribe that came to the island around 1100 BC, and they built those big forts on the island. But so the Niwena now is in dry dock, and they've been up in Dublin, and they're trying to dismantle her and some people are saying we're trying to restore her for historical reasons. But I've been on the Niwena and going from Galway to the Iron Islands, and when people emigrated, they would take that boat from the island to go to Galway, and back then the boat couldn't. They would have to take the cattle and anything they were put to market. They would have to put them in the Atlantic Ocean, and put cows and calves and everything, and they pull them by the rowing boat, and then they'd be hoisted out of the water into the big boat and down in the hold. And that was the life then. There was a big gathering on the island. Everybody, all the well-able men would push those cows out and out in the water, and they'd be pulled out to the big steamer. They call the steamer. But there's a video done on it, and I didn't know there was a video done on it. It shows the whole thing, the islanders, and it's very festive, and people are, taking things out of the steamer. They're taking goods back from the steamer in the boat, in rowing boats. And when I had O'Flaherty's down in New Orleans, I used to show videos of Ireland at the bar in the daytime. Now in the pub side, we had the concert room like the music room, totally for people like yourselves that want to just listen. But the bar side, we would put, to educate people about Ireland, we put up those good videos of Ireland, even though it was in black and white. We put them up there because it was well done, back in the 60s, whoever did it. So this day I happened to be sitting at the bar, and these two guys from Texas came in to the bar, and big boys, and they were a Texas accent. They were talking to the bartender. Yeah, we're here I don't know what part of Texas. They were here, New Orleans, for some convention, whatever, and they were talking about, Texas and whatever. But they were showing the video, and it's just like you couldn't plan this. You couldn't, like, one of those things you can't plan. When they looked up at the TV above at the bar, that's when they were hauling the cow out of the Atlantic Ocean. And one guy turned to the other, damn, that's big fish I ever saw in my life. Well, I'm telling you, you can't plan this stuff. Just things like that just happen. It's nothing to do with Murphy's Law. It just happens. Damn, he says, damn, I've never seen fish that big in my life. If he had waited, if he watched it like 30 seconds, then he would have known. But he just all of a sudden, this cow was coming out of the water. On the ocean that hollows the rocks where you dwell, a shadowy land has appeared, so they tell. They taught a region of sunshine and rest, and they call their high Brazil the Isle of the Blessed. "30 miles by steamer to reach Inishmore. Yesterday my carroch was needed to come ashore. Right from Kilronan to mighty Dunangus, the edge of the world, near heaven I guess. I see Inishere, for the carroch races there, the hammer throw and the castle ruins bare. O'Flaherty's from Galway, fought the O'Briens from Clare, to gain these grey rocks and the chilling salt air. Skin the high waters, remain just afloat. Leave as you found her in my canvas boat. Safe from strong winds by high cliffs of rocks, a sea-drenched people of hardy stock. Food grown in soil, parted by storm. Fish caught in daylight, raids out the foam. For a bit of company or alone in a trance, we go to the pub, Cayley, or watch the ocean dance. With every breath you take, oh, the sea is in the air. Behind each stone wall, the rain is in your hair. Skin the high waters, remain just afloat. Leave as you found her in my canvas boat. Watch for the Niwela. There's still time for men fish by pot, net or line. Wear warm sweaters of our own Arran kind. Years ago knitted in a family design. We're off to Inishmore in my tar belly boat. I skim these high waves, remain just afloat, to Gregory's Sound, where the waters are bold. Pray these winds die down, the weather will hold. Skim the high waters, remain just afloat. Leave as you found her in my canvas boat. Skim the high waters, remain just afloat. Leave as you found her in my canvas boat. Thank you very much.
I ain't got nothing to say about that. Last time I did that, you sent me away for a while.
Well, actually, there was on the coming home a tour to Ireland 4 weeks ago. I stopped off up in Greenville, and we were staying at the Greenville house. And there was a castle there years back in the late 1500s where Grace O'Malley, the famous seafaring queen, pirate queen in Ireland, and she's very, very well known in the Irish history books, she was married to Donal O'Flaherty. Donal O'Flaherty, that's my name in Gaelic. Donal, Danny is Donal. So when I was going to school, and it was they would refer to me as Donal. They never call me Danny. They call Donal, which means world in Gaelic.
I thought he said noodle.
No, it's well. You're going the right direction. You're on your way. You're on your way. God love you. Yeah.
Come on.
Yankee Doodle. Yes. I'm a dandy. Oh. But anyways, so when I went to see the castle, I thought, well, to myself, because I was married to her 400 years ago, I thought, well, I mean, she can't be having a grudge for 400 years. So when I went inside the wall of the castle to take pictures of the castle, there's up on YouTube, it's up on Facebook, whatever, the trip to Ireland to see the castle, and this white horse attacked me. And I said, oh my God, she's come back as a horse. You know? And shapers. And there's a fellow from Louisiana that helped me to distract the horse, Grace. The horse, Grace. So I could take pictures of the castle that's fallen to bits. But the real story I have to tell you is when Ireland became a republic in 1922, and ever since then there was a ship called the Asgard that took part in the Irish uprising, and later on the second boat, Asgard 2, came along, and Asgard 2 was a sail training vessel, and they would bring teenager boys and girls from all faiths out to sea to break down those barriers of hatred and everything else that goes on in our country and all over the world. And it's one of the brilliant program to bring those kids out to sea. And it's amazing what that does to kids when that, in the spirit of breaking down those walls and getting together as people. Unfortunately, about 16 years ago, she was coming back from France to Ireland, and the Bay of Biscay, a bad weather, a bad hurricane hit the area of the Bay of Biscay, and she went down, but all people were saved. And she's lying on the bottom there. So for the past, almost 16 years now, the program is not happening. But recently, they bought a ship. It's 167-footer, 3-masted, and she's been refitted in Sweden at the moment, and the foundation, and with the government grants and everything. And guess what they're naming her? Grace O'Malley. Grace O'Malley. It's awesome, really is. So those kids, the program obviously will continue, and so it's I think it's a wonderful story. So I'll do this song I wrote years ago about Grace, and before she turned into a horse and attacked me. Yeah. by rock rib connacht, her swift vessels glide, like swans they're breasting the full flowing tide. Warships and gales, all ready to sail, to sweep the salt sea from Cape Clear to Kinsale. For 40 long years she ruled from her galley, as Queen of the Sea, her name, Grace O'Malley. A seafaring queen could always be seen sailing out from her port on Clare Island. She ruled the western seas for 40 long years, from Clew Bay to the mouth of the Shannon. Ride the waves from Clew Bay, ride the waves to Tyrconnell, ride the waves night and day to Clare Island. The idol of our clan, they were pirates every man, with their flags flying high from our galley. Who would dare to block our path, or they would feel the wrath of a woman they called Grace O'Malley. Ride the waves from Clew Bay, ride the waves to Tyrconnell, ride the waves night and day to Clare Island. The cruelty and deeds of Bingham's greed brought rebellion and death over Connacht, and Grace he betrayed. Her death he arranged. She escaped with her fleet to Tyrconnell. Ride the waves from Clew Bay, ride the waves to Tyrconnell, ride the waves night and day to Clare Island. In 1593, once again she was free. She returned to the sea and her galley. And to this very day, on Clare Island and Clew Bay, haunts the memory of Grace O'Malley. Ride the waves from Clew Bay, ride the waves to Tyrconnell, ride the waves night and day to Clare Island. Ride the waves from Clew Bay, ride the waves to Tyrconnell, ride the waves night and day to Clare Island. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Oh, wonderful. I love this. There's, I think that a song that I wrote in Gaelic, and I sometimes it's hard. I mean, I'm absolutely delighted tonight that you want to hear songs in the native language. You know, I know a guy from Wales. We're talking about Wales there. His name is David Ewan. He doesn't sing any songs in English. And every time I brought him to New Orleans for the Celtic Nations Heritage Festival, around the stage it was like maybe 15 to 2,000 people. Everybody at the festival, or all the festival, went to the stage. And they were absolutely into everything he was saying, and they didn't speak the Welsh language. Now, what kind of magic is that? When someone sings in another language, but you know what he or she is saying, that's a very special thing, I think, myself.
Hey, Danny, you're in the music room.
Oh, absolutely. I am in the music room, yes.
You can feel the music. You don't have to hear the words.
That's right. Exactly. That's right. That's the way
it was for me when you were singing it earlier.
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I didn't understand a word you were saying.
We probably didn't want to.
Pardon me?
We may not wanted to know actually what you were saying.
No, but I think if anyone knows what I'm saying, you do, because you're very keen on what's going on in the music room, and you do, and I'm absolutely I'm going to take a couple of days to process this myself, because I think we need more of you in this room. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
No. Listen, no, fair is fair. You got to have fair play about life, you know. Yeah. It's all about fair play.
Well, I didn't come here to be bored.
That is for sure. That is for.
See, you had a great build-up. He said the guy's going to be in Irish.
Yeah.
He's going to have a great time. He's going to be fun. So now there you are. You're in putting a spot now. You're fun.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Talented, handsome, and I love your dog.
Well, the dog he doesn't like the music anymore. He's gone to sleep.
I was going to say your dog is real impressed.
Yeah. But you know, there's certain songs I do. He'll wake up and he'll look at me and says, "Are you doing that again?" No, but I listen. I you know, I'm not a scholar of any stretch. I read a lot. I have a lovely library of the Celtic people. You know, and follow world history as much as I can. And you know, you learn from it. You do. Honestly, God, we're all immigrants of all sorts, and we're travellers. All of us. We haven't stopped, for God's sake. And that's for the truth to be told, and that's the real story. You know, and when in Ireland, we've been lucky to have all these countries open up their doors for us Irish, because we're all over the world, for God's sake, you know. So the least we can do is help others out, you know. So, you know, now one back in the early 1700s, the fishing boats would come from the west coast of England, would come and stop off in Waterford, or in Passage East or Passage West, or even some of them to Ochel, to pick up Irish men to go fishing to a place called Antillon. The Tillon. Ilon is Gaelic for island, and that's what they refer to Newfoundland, the Antillon. Now it's called Thala and Yesk. Thala and Yesk means the land of the fish. It was a 2-year contract. You'd go there for the cod fishing, and you stay there for 2 years, and then you come home with loads of money. And a lot of the people left because of the persecution that was going on, the uprising, our political climate. People left Ireland, and we found Canada, Newfoundland, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, even down to Argentina, for God's sake. We're all over the place. But so I wanted, when I was up in Newfoundland, I saw the French came and the English came there, and then it's a mixture of that, and the Irish came. When the Irish came, they all came. They doubled the English, and next thing there's more than Irish. There's all Irish people on the island, and they haven't lost a bit of it. There's still the accents. When when Newfoundlanders go to Ireland, I've been talking to some of these coach drivers that said, you know, they said these people came over from Newfoundland and they're trying to imitate us. I said, no, they're not. That's how they speak, for God's sake. And so the Irish bus driver said, these people are trying to imitate us. No, they're not. They speak the language. But I wanted to tell the story in the Gaelic, because those people spoke Gaelic at that time, when they came from Tipperary and South Tipperary, East Cork, Carlow, Kilkenny, South of Wicklow, Wexford, those areas. And they came and they stayed in Newfoundland. Some of them went back, and some of them just stayed behind, and they lived around the coastal areas and cod fishing. And I wanted to tell the story that migration, for many reasons, because of starvation, political, religious persecution, you name it, we had it, you know. And well, the potatoes came from Virginia. So Walter Raleigh took the potatoes back, which was a good thing. So Walter Raleigh, I mean, So Walter Raleigh brought the potatoes back from Virginia to Europe and to Ireland, of course. And then after he did that, they took him to the Tower in London and hung him. So be careful when you talk about Idaho potatoes. You could be hanged for the stuff, you know. Oh, God love us. We're full of blarney tonight for sure. But now, when I took the tour with me to Ireland, 4 weeks ago, I went to the immigrant centre in my parish. They just built the immigrant centre because so many of us have. It's a very poor area, very dismal. So people like myself, we're all over the planet. You know, we go back, and some of them they never return. But they built an immigrant centre there. It's gorgeous. So they set me up with a few songs, and the song I sang was this one here. And guess what? All 32 of us from America were singing the chorus, and it's only one part in the chorus that I want you to do. Sheer, Faragi, sheer, west on the ocean's west. Sheer, Faragi, sheer, west on the ocean west. That's what they were doing that time. Going, let's get out of here. Let's hit the road in the boat. Yeah. Here it is. Dog shit but lorge, father in law, sheer, faragi sheer. A macadine tell more vich shit gara, sheer, faragi sheer. You can trust on hoyeskul, or a guess garacht on, sheer, faragi sheer. You're a tad samada, a treadless nangal, sheer, faragi sheer. I siedes Lochgarman, Kilchanís Corky, Tavadaran Port Lorge, Vieren the Gree. Dalan Yesk, Ishinwala Haku, Sheer, Faragi Sheer. Hollaga Hesur, Gwel Nunes and all, Sheer, Faragi Sheer. See the grass, hush father, they darus to one. Sheer, faragi sheer. Cause silence got to move, of your shit go yell. Sheer, faragi sheer. You're a tab, samara, old western yell. Sheer, faragi sheer. You sheer this lock garment, kill honey, corky. Tabadar and pot larg, the air and the gree. Dalan yesk vishin wala aku, sheer, faragi sheer. Vir yivre chafada, vir tamsagus kjol, sheer, faragi sheer. Se de kwartig le hele, vir brinbag le nol, sheer, faragi sheer. Vir bron fin the winter, a rock sin and ye, sheer, faragi sheer. Go back a charished, you should go village ye, sheer, faragi sheer. Be sheedest lock garment, kill honey, scorky, Tavadar and Portlarg, the air in the gree. It dalan yesk, vision wala aku, sheer, faragi sheer. Nach Hevisches and Tomschen Fado, sheer, faragi sheer. Wie dich gemacht, es Eden Gukunyo dich blow, sheer, faragi sheer. And that last verse translation is, that's the way it was in Ireland long ago. They were leaving Ireland to keep themselves alive. Vi shedes Lochgarman, Kilchonys Corky, Tabadaran, Portlarg, the Aaron, the Cree. It dalan yesk, vishin wala aku, sheer, faragi sheer. Yeah! Oh, God love you. Now, if I told people in Ireland 60 years ago, or even 50 years ago, that one day I'm going to immigrate to America, and then 50 years from now or 60 years from now, I'll be singing near Dallas called Waxahachie, and all the folks from Waxahachie and from Dallas and all the surroundings area, they're all there in the room, in the music room, singing in Gaelic. They would throw me in the funny house back home. They would. I would never. I would have never immigrated. They would certainly put me in the place. Well, I have to. I love stories, and this one here, I have to do it for you because I think it's. My wife and I, we were down in on the shore, on the south side of the island, and we were basically getting away for a couple of days to relax and all that stuff. And now I can't find the song now. But anyways, we were staying in the place called Portugal. Portugal is the only way I can describe it for you. Portugal is a peninsula called the Burin Peninsula. It would be like the Florida of America. It sticks out on the ocean like a peninsula, and it's all fishing villages, and there is a huge connection between U.S. and Newfoundland. Up the road is St. Lawrence, and there's back in 1943. Two American destroyers and a cargo ship bring in goods, bring in soldiers, and bring in ammo to England for the war, the Second World War. They went into bad weather, poor navigational, whatever happens. It's a very foggy area, that area, but they hit the cliffs, and Newfoundlanders found out there was a guy that climbed up the mountain. He was an African American sailor on one of the destroyers, and climbed up the mountain and went to the village and ran to the village and told everybody what was happening. And all the Newfoundlander fishermen, scores of them, ran and climbed down the cliffs, and they saved 160 American sailors. And if you see, you heard about that, it's hollow ground. You should see this place. My wife and I, we went there. Down there, and it's like going to Arlington Cemetery. It's the job they've done on that, and we and there's a few other things as well that has happened up in Gander, in Newfoundland, in 1983. The American Special Forces were coming back from Egypt. They were on a peacekeeping mission, special forces, and they came from Egypt, Cairo, to Germany, and then refueled, and then came to refuel in Gander, Newfoundland, and the plane took off and exploded, and all 246 special forces were killed. Yeah. It's another hollowed. What they've done. The Pentagon, the Americans, probably most Americans, maybe very few people American knows about this. The job Newfoundlanders did on that, even the Pentagon didn't know they did that, and because they do a ceremony on the north side of the Pentagon. I've been there they every year, and all of a sudden now they'll go back and forth each year. Now they do one in Newfoundland, they do one at the Pentagon. And from the officials at the Pentagon found out what they've done, they showed the picture of the plane taken off. They showed there's a statue of a U.S. serviceman and with holding a hand of a little girl and pointing towards a direction of Kentucky. That's where the air base they were flying to, Kentucky. And when you go to that, you've been there. You have to tell them how.
It's It's pretty moving.
It's amazing. So I'm just saying that there's a huge connections there between Newfoundland and the United States. And there was a referendum back in 1949. We just lost by 3 percentage points to be a part of the United States. And during the Second World War, they, like Rommel and Hitler, was building all these big bunkers from Norway all the way down to France. And the same thing, we had GIs, American GIs, up in Newfoundland. We built all these bunkers because it were only 2,000 miles away from. If Hitler would prevail, Newfoundland is the closest part of North America. And they built these concrete bunkers if the Germans would be coming to attack North America. So there is a huge connection. And I think sometimes we need to have that teachers telling this history. Forget about social studies. Separate history and geography. Separate them. They're 2 different subjects, for God's sake. And teach about how the world looks at us and what we do in the world and what the world thinks of us and the things the world do for us. It's amazing. I find that that connection between the United States and Canada is immense, huge. Oh my God, I get carried away in this. I'm very patriotic, so as you probably can tell.
Then Daniel, Gander again on
9/11, same thing.
Where the world came to visit.
That town of 8,000 people was 30,000 people after a day and a half. Sitting on the tarmacs, and they brought them into their homes, gave them food. There's a Broadway play on Far and Away. Yeah, is it? Come from away. So, anyways, I get carried away, but listen. Let me go back to protocol. So my wife is sleeping. So I decided I have a habit of going down after the tide goes out, because we did collecting rack. We did that as kids, and we kept pieces of wood, and we're always looking for that Spanish galleon thing coming ashore. All the gold and the jewels and everything, but that never happened. But I was going back on the beach, and sticking out of the seaweed was a bicycle rim. So I took all the seaweed off the bicycle frame and cleaned it up, and my goodness gracious, this bicycle was nothing wrong with it, hardly. And so I cleaned it up enough, and I said, I'm going to go back to the village in the morning. I'm just remember that raindrops keep falling on my. I was like going down the road at the fishing village, whistling that song. Butch Cassidy. I was pretending on the bicycle. My wife is still sleeping. I'm glad she was sleeping, because she'd be embarrassed about this. And all the villagers said, "Who's this lunatic on the bicycle? An hour ago he walked, he's coming back on the bike." So when I came back to the house, she's still sleeping, so I decided, well, let me go back to Lamanine. 3 miles away, I went to Lamanine. And guess what happened? When I went to Lamanine, there's a bridge going to a little island called Allen's Isle. And Allen's Isle was a spy station for the U.S. military in the Second World War. Yes, Allen's Isle. So when I went there, and there's nothing but small, maybe there's 18 houses, 20 houses of fishing people. And so the road came to an end, and I put the bicycle down. And these villagers are looking at, who's this guy? So what did I find as I kept going down the side of the hill was the grotto, the Blessed Mother. And it was the same as the one they have in Fatima, I think. Some woman from Nova Scotia dedicated it to. So anyways, I went back to the church, and I said, I want to buy a rosary. And there was 2 ladies down doing something with the church, and they said, we don't sell rosaries here. And the other lady said, well, we have children's rosaries. So I said, well, I'll buy the children. No, we can't take any money. So they gave me a white beaded plastic rosary and another one with different colours on it for children, So I went back to the statue. I put the rosary around her neck, Blessed Mother, and I started praying for the world for peace. And I started praying for my wife who had a back operation. And anyone else that was sick in the world, I said, please, for God's sake, Mary, heal them all. So, and I put the rosary on her, and then I came back and I put the other rosary on the other one. So I had the 2 rosaries now blessed, and I started writing a song about it. And then I pedalled back on my bike, and my wife was up, and I told her the story that I found a bicycle on the beach covered with seaweed. And I went back to Lamanine, and I saw the Blessed Mother, and I haven't written a song here about it. I started playing it for her. And she said, we've got to go back there again, and I'll put it on tape. So we went back there to Lamanine, back to the grotto again, and now I have a whole slew of people going down following me with my guitar. So I said, I was going to say to myself, St. Patrick must have come back from the dead or something. So I wrote the song. Actually, my wife Lisa wrote the song with me. I know a lot of her family up in Newfoundland. They don't know that she writes a lot of stuff with me, and she's a terrific writer, and so I'm saying that, making sure that that she's recognised with the lyrics of the song. Oh, have you been to Lamanine? Is there Our Lady can be seen on Allen's Isle across the tide? Them Allen's Isle come side by side. I wish I had the lyrics here, I've forgotten. When the fishermen go out to sea, like days of old in Galilee, and there she waits till they return. She knows her son will be at the stern. She's my golden rose of Lamanine on Allen's Isle. She can be seen, our Queen of Peace. Come say a prayer. She'll be waiting for you there. And all she asks for you to pray as the fog rolls out across the bay. Oh, Allen's Isle, once more I see where a Queen of Peace waits for me. She's my golden rose of Lamanine on Allen's Isle. She can be seen, our Queen of Peace. Come say a prayer. She'll be waiting for you there. And as I leave my footprints in the sand, I turned around for one last glance, and there she there, looking back at me, my golden rose of Lamanine. She's our golden rose of Lamanine on Allen's Isle. She can be seen, and say a prayer. She'll be waiting for you there. She'll be waiting for you there. Yeah. You know, songs, they just happen. You just never know what's going to. Every songwriter that's played, I think Dylan was asked about, you know, where did that song come? I don't know. Paul Simon was asked the other day about that song. Oh, I can't remember the song. No. Oh God, it was Simon and Garfunkel, the song that made him famous.
Bridge over troubled water.
Yes. He was asked about that song, and he said, "I don't know where it came from. It just happened." And so you just never know. You could be like the other day, driving down the road, and people give you ideas about, well, I haven't smelled the roses, I haven't whistled for a long time, and things like that. I do the song for children, but it's really for adults as well, because I mean, really,
We are children.
we are.
We're just older.
That's correct, and that is actually that a lot of people actually keep in touch with that innocence in life. The only time they sometimes they don't want to expose too much of it, because people will use them because they are innocent. So we all have. So we all have that innocence. We do, honest to God. We protect it, because there's some nasty people out there sometimes. Oh, yeah, some nasty people. We're okay there, Randy. God love you. Sun goes up and the sun goes down as a great big world goes round and round. Summer's hot and the winter's cold. The fields and flowers are red and gold. We put the seeds into the ground, up they grow without a sound. Flowers are pretty, veggies sweet, some children in the world have nothing to eat. Of all the wonders in our world, from the eagle's feathers to the oyster's pearl, we need to care what we've got. We need to change an awful lot. Changes, we need to change an awful lot. That's the chorus. Changes, we need to change an awful lot. Planting trees in a neighborhood makes the air smell as it should. Watch the birds build their nests. Singing birds makes all feel blessed. Sometimes the sun shines oh so bright, sometimes the moon comes out at night. The thunder makes a great big crash, the lightning gives a mighty flash. Of all the wonders in our world, from the eagle's feathers to the oyster's pearl, we need to care what we got. We need to change an awful lot. Changes, we need to change an awful lot. You can do it, come on. Changes, we need to change an awful lot. Green frog on the rainforest floor, wishing they won't cut down anymore. When we walk upon the paths we laid, we should have a care for the gods we played. Of all the wonders in our world, from the eagle's feathers to the oyster's pearl, we need to care what we got. We need to care an awful lot. We can do it. Changes, we need to change an awful lot. Changes, we need to change an awful lot. Wow.
What about Tom Kinder?
Huh? I know. Do you know I haven't sung that song since we did that. You know,
I love the version we did here.
I love the version we did here. One of the I mean, I shouldn't be bothered by some of that stuff, Randy. But you know something, I have to be honest with you, because I think, you know, so at some time in our lives, you know, we try to be politically correct and try not to shake things up or say nothing. You know, we try to stay quiet, and we don't raise any flags or anything. But sometimes we all are human and we get bothered by certain things. And honest to God, anything I put up on YouTube that's meaningful, whether it be a religious song, a song about life, and nobody looks at it. So when that song was put up, Michael Robinson up in Beacon, New York, he gave it to Pete Seeger, and Pete Seeger said, "I wish to God I've written this song." He sent the words over to Pete Seeger because he lived across the mountain. This is before he died. So Michael sent the words over to Pete, and for 3 months he didn't hear nothing back, you know. But one day Pete called him and says, "Yeah, well, do you have music to this?" And he started humming the tune that he had go with the words. And next thing, about 2 weeks later, Pete wrote the music to the lyrics, and I have all the notes from Pete. Michael gave me all the notes, all the correspondence going back and forth. I have the notes. And I wrote. I changed it around a little bit because he says, you know, songs can be changed. I just we put a chorus to it, you know, and so anyways, I have it here. I haven't done it for a long time, but
Do you feel good about it? You know?
I feel that I feel the.
I think that the story about it is.
Well, I'll read the story for you. Listen. I haven't done it for 8 years, and I knew coming here that.
I always am going to ask the artist to do the one that.
Yes, and I figured that, but I thought, well, maybe he won't ask me.
You're dealing with Randy, remember?
Yeah. But it says here. It says.
I mixed it all. I got it.
Oh, it's beautiful. But the version on you have it was a fantastic version. I had a 12-string guitar at that time.
Yeah.
And it says here in the Bible, it says, "You will dart about as sparks through stubbles. If ever the world was filled with grey stubble, with gloomy ashes of so much hatred, violence and war, it is today. But the children still sparkle, still dart about with starlight, with hope. The fire is going out. Come kinder, find kindling. No peace too small or insignificant, as long as we bundle all together. Never doubt the worth of any tiny twig, branch or bark, the power of any tiny voice to spark the flame, to rekindle the fire on earth again, the fire of justice, peace, equality, and truth."
That was 8 years ago. It's still pretty current, don't you?
Yeah, yes, it did.
Yeah.
Chop, 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 chop. There's one, there's one, there's one. Chop, 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 chop. There's one, there's one, there's one. I stood one day at my chopping pile. A child was near. I said, "Come, child, come, kender. Fine kindling. You can start a place with a great big log. It's the little ones that will do the job. Come, kender. Fine kindling." Jesus came to start a fire upon this earth, and he knew the precious worth of kindling, of children. Fine kindling. come kindling. There was a man named Peter, who knew a man named Martin, who knew a man named Gandhi, who knew a man named Francis, who knew a man named Jesus, who said, I came to start a fire upon this earth, and he knew the precious worth of kindling. Of children, come children, find kindling. Wherever there is hatred, we need to start a fire. Wherever there's injustice, we need to stoke the fire. Wherever there is hunger, we need to feed the fire. Wherever there is violence, we need to spread the fire. Wherever there's despair, we light it everywhere. We light it everywhere. Jesus came to start a fire upon this earth, and he knew the precious worth of kindling. Of children, come children, find kindling. A twig of understanding, a spark of tender mercy, a flame of sweet compassion, we bundle you together. Oh, a little spark this love, oh, a little spark this love. Love, 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 there's love. Jesus came to start a fire upon this earth, and he knew the precious worth of kindling. Of children, Jesus came to start a fire upon this earth, and he knew the precious worth of kindling. Come children, find kindling. Come children, love, love, there's love, love, oh, there's love. I'm going to have to put that song back in my program, and I didn't tell you the reason. I got, there's so much crap out there on YouTube, and YouTube 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and every one of them. And when you put a decent song up there that means something, they don't want to know about it. It just and I shouldn't. You know, I'm a very peaceful person. I shouldn't really get angry at it because that's the way we are. But so I stopped doing it. You know, and there's another song that I stopped doing as well because I put it up there, and I felt the Spirit. You know, I mean, to my own self. I keep my spirituality to myself. You know, I don't broadcast it anywhere, but I do. Like most artists, we put a song of our own feelings of spirituality on stage. Now and again, we do that, and I like to do that. And I stopped doing it, and I said to myself, I was out walking the other day, and I said, oh my God, I said, I got to do this. I mean, you know, which apostle that Jesus said, you're going to deny me? Was it Peter? Peter.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I felt that way. I'm denying him because of what other people think, you know. So I didn't put that song out there. I felt like Peter, you know, I'm doing the same thing. So I said, God, I've got to do this song, you know. So
if you hold it back, you're the only one that's got it. You need to share that kind of song because it has a movement both for children and adults.
oh, totally, absolutely. And this one here, He Believes in Me. I mean, I felt that song the first time we co-wrote the song. Myself and Ted, we co-wrote the song, and we that video that on YouTube, it's up on YouTube. You can look at it. You can look at how I was into it. Like, you know, so I felt it, you know, and then. I just didn't want people to get the wrong impression, you know, that I was just trying to do something else with my life, and I basically denied. I did what Peter did. Yeah, I did. I've been honest with you, you know, and I'm not proud of that, you know. And
Peter's forgiven, so are you.
But it was written in the spirit of people who are down and out, people down in Sabine Pass and people after the hurricanes that hit Texas in that area. And the Blue Tarps, a year and a half later, are still up there. And the poor people are not getting any, nobody's helping them out. So not just in Calcasieu Parish to the borders, Texas, the same thing was happening in Calcasieu Parish. So people were just neglected, and a year and a half later, like they're just like living in tents, So that was the spirit of the song was for them. And I went on the radio in Houston, and I sang it on the radio, on Irish radio in Houston, and my God, the phone started ringing up because those are the people who are hurting,
You guys know that Danny had O'Flaherty's on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
No, on Toulouse Street, Toulouse, yeah.
So he's been down there a while too. And Katrina ran.
And I love the song. And this is a song I wanted to do for Mary earlier. I couldn't think of it. I did, but I wasn't going to read anything out on the concert tonight because I have issues with still memory issues from my accidents, and I'm not going to lie about it. I forget lyrics still, and I'm working very hard to be able to do it without notes, but it's coming back to me, and I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good, and the people are very appreciative as well, But I'm going to do this. I'm not. Probably it's 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning in England. She's probably not watching this, but maybe she'll watch it then later on. When storms destroy our dreams, life becomes despair. Our heart is numb, it seems no one cares. When tears come streaming down and hope no longer clear, that small still voice says, I am near. I feel the touch of caring, a presence deep inside. Hear his whisper, I'm always by your side. And when there is darkness and we no longer see, I believe in him 'cause he believes in me. He believes in me when hope is gone. He believes in me, my heart has a song. He's reaching out, hold his hand and hold on. He believes, oh he believes in me. Oh come, you broken hearts, the story has no end. It's time to touch the need, so let's begin. There's always tomorrow, the sunshine it shall be. I believe that he believes in me. He believes in me when hope is gone. He believes in me, my heart has a song. He's reaching out, take his hand and hold on. He believes, oh he believes in me. There's hope for us tomorrow. Look past the stars, His hand will guide no matter where you are. I lift my eyes to heaven, for all of us can see. I believe that He believes in me. He believes in me when hope is gone. He believes in me. My heart has a song. He's reaching out. Take His hand and hold on. He believes, oh, He believes in me. He believes in me when hope is gone. He believes in me. My heart has a song. He's reaching out. Take His hand and hold on. He believes, oh, He believes in me. Hold on. Hold on. Thank you very much. Goodness. There's so many songs and good ones as well that I like to. This time, there's another song here, and I haven't again. Oh goodness, I've been toying with this song for many years, and I haven't been able to do it. I don't know why, but I might give it a try tonight. I don't know if that's okay. It's I'm going to try to do it the way I started. I've been trying to change it around for years because I was not happy with the music, but I feel I should do it. You know, it's one of those things I want to do.
Go for it.
Hit her lick, see if she'll fart.
What'd you say?
Hit her a lick and see if she'll fart.
Oh.
Yes, I never heard that one
How do you
before.
say that in Gaelic?
I'd be lucky to do it in English, for goodness sake. You got to do it with an Irish accent so I can understand it.
Yeah, but he's Italian.
Boy, you ruined the whole evening. There went the evening right there.
Well, you were telling me jokes earlier about, well, I mean, won't say about the jokes.
About them nuns drinking beer.
That's right, nuns drinking beer. But have you, the American Navy says USN, United States Navy, right?
Well, I know where you're going. That's in my boat.
God, he knows it.
A and B.
He knows it.
A and B.
Yeah, he has in my boat. Oh my God, I can't do nothing here in Texas.
I'm trying to be Irish or not. Golly.
You aren't. Well,
You missed the boat.
I think you'll have no problems immigrating to Ireland. Put it that way. If you like.
It'd be just that's her.
Really, you've Irish? Yes.
McClatchy.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
My dad used to say he didn't get all his scotch out of a bottle because my mother was Irish.
That's good. Here's one. I wrote the song some years ago, but I'm going to do it. I haven't done this for a long time, so I'll do it. Randy, I'm okay. I'm far enough away from the microphone, right?
You sounded pretty good this second set. You like it, great.
You are my soul. You are my life. You're my sunshine, day and night. You're my path of love, sent from high above. You're my soul angel by my side. You're my bright star in the sky. You're my night and day. I dream of holding you tonight. Back home in sweet Torbay. You are my smile. You are my eyes. You're my miracle of life. You're my breath of air. You're my shore to shore. Forever in the wind, forevermore. You're my bright star in the sky. You're my night and day. I dream of holding you tonight. Back home in sweet Torbay. You are my heart and yours to mine. We were meant to be before our time. You're my everything. You're the song I sing. Till the end of time, I'll wear your ring. You're my bright star in the sky. You're my night and day. I dream of holding you tonight. Back home in sweet Torbay. You're my bright star in the sky. You're my night and day. I dream of holding you tonight. Back home in sweet Torbay. Back home in sweet Torbay. I wrote that years ago to my wife, Lisa, and she's probably gone to sleep right now because they're different. They're on Eastern time, an hour difference. But I haven't sung it for a long, long time, but I just wanted to do it for her tonight because she needs to hear all kinds of positive songs about our lives and all of us. You know, it goes for everyone else as well. You know, these songs, they go to other people, and hopefully that happens. You know that. You know, so we're all we're all trying our best, as they say. We're all trying our best. I will do another. There's an awful lot of songs here I've written through the years. This one here, I suppose. I think it's original enough song. Okay, we'll do it. When Dylan sang of anti-war blowing in the wind, and the power of the people swept across the plain, and the man who wears the badge will make you stand behind the line. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And we were all so young back then, we were wild and fancy free. We were living for the moment with no regards for time. And the world kept on turning while other lives stood still. All we did was taste the cultured wine. All we did was taste the cultured wine. From the Mississippi Delta came the voice that made him king. And the reverence of Woodstock gave us loving that was free. And the men who once were Boy Scouts marched to a different tune. A victim of our system and our inhumanity. And we were all so young back then, we were wild and fancy free. We were living for the moment with no regards for time. And the world kept on turning while other lives stood still. All we did was taste the cultured wine. All we did was taste the cultured wine. The man who said, "I have a dream," touched the nation's soul. And the pilgrimage to Camelot brought us to our knees. We said farewell to Norma Jean as fate eclipsed her star. With no conscience we were following a gentle fragrant breeze. And we were all so young back then, we were wild and fancy free. We were living for the moment with no regards for time. And the world kept on turning while other lives stood still. All we did was taste the cultured wine. All we did was taste the cultured wine. We all stood still and held our breath. Man walked upon the moon. And the place of worship meant you did not have to hide your face. Then we heard "I am the greatest" from a legend of our time. With all our imperfections, we're still called the human race. And we were all so young back then, we were wild and fancy free. We were living for the moment with no regards for time. And the world kept on turning while other lives stood still. All we did was taste the cultured wine. All we did was taste the cultured wine. And we were all so young back then, we were wild and fancy free. We were living for the moment with no regards for time. And the world kept on turning while other lives stood still. All we did was taste the cultured wine. All we did was taste the cultured wine. that's a little bit of a history, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, that's a little bit of a history. Thank you so much indeed for coming tonight. I really, really appreciate it.
Okay, good.
Oh, thank you, Helen and Randy, for bringing me here tonight. The first thing you told me when I arrived, the bed is ready for you tonight. Our friends are coming in from everywhere. They have come to sing and talk to you. And I hope that you're ready to sing those lovely songs. In the music room, it's just for you tonight. There was this young fella from Italy. He had a Texas accent, not from Rome. But his wife, she kept him right and steady with a bottle of Scotch whiskey. He drank it alone. He was picking on me with his wonderful sense of humor, and I will miss him till next year. I hope you wear that green hat and that lovely tie. The music room will need you that night. So fare thee well to each and every one of you. You've made my night so nice and so special. I don't need to go back to Jasper to process anything, because the music room is so special.